And as the music director, artistic director of the Portland Chamber Orchestra, obviously, we would like to present repertoire that is part of the standard, the classical music, the great composers like Beethoven, Mozart, whatever. But at the same time, living in times like now, especially, you cannot just stand by blindly, and do nothing. Your antennas are stretched out, and you are very clearly affected. And being the kind of artist that I am, where artistic fusion and basically bringing the arts together and working in collaboration with many, many kinds of artists, not just musicians, but, dancers, actors, writers, poets, obviously provide an opportunity to do something very powerful, very special, something that lent itself beautifully to really deal with issues that needs answers, that needs highlight, needs to be acknowledged. It's a music drama, which is basically the term blackness is redefined through story, monologue, characterization, poetry, and song as it addresses current issues with the buried history of Black bravery and excellence. Nothing could be more relevant to the backdrop or the reality that I am functioning as the artistic director, or who I am. It's a wonderful outlet. It's a wonderful avenue for me to bring together who I am in terms of my vision as not just as artistic director, but as a human being in a community. And my background is I grew up in an environment that community values were always at the center of things. Growing up in Israel in a kibbutz, but I not only grew up in a kibbutz, in a very, very small community where the music was very important, but also was very important and powerful tool to not just celebrate, but to really bring issue, to celebrate issues, to highlight issues, to articulate issues, to inspire and communicate. So eventually, when I became a music director or artist in general, the message was always there, not just to obviously perform the classics or the traditional stuff, but to eventually, as you grow up in the community, especially in a community there where social, cultural, political issues coming up all the time, you begin to realize, that in order to really stay relevant, you have to do something about it. Because I'm a great believer, that the arts are a meeting place of ideas, stimulation, questioning and questions and finding answers, to what we're living through also. And art, and especially music, is the most profound way to really confront things and to bring a public to ask questions. And meeting of the minds. So in a very emotional, metaphysical, and spiritual way. I came to meet Darius Wallace, a fantastic actor, Shakespearean actor, actually, from Memphis, Black actor that was dealt with the issue, the social issues all his life. Wrote about it, performed, performed poems by many other prominent Black writers, poets. And I was introduced to him by sheer accident, and this new friendship really came into, the realization that we have to do something. So into that came another individual that is the composer, Jasnam Diaz. And the three of us met and continued to meet regularly, and eventually we came with this remarkable narrative based on texts that Darius put together over the years, and this very powerful show came about. So there is a great deal of human aspect to it, not just a narrative that we wanted to present, but wonderful friendship that built up, and great deal of many hours of soul-searching discussions on the issues themselves. Yeah, and what it means to be, for a Black person, you know, to be part of this society, and what the history is all about. So My Words Are My Sword evening is really one of those freshest and unvarnished and relevant new works that we could share with our audience in times of so much division and hunger, and, you know, for hope and reconciliation. You know, it's a very personal testament of Darius himself as an individual, as a human being in a reality that was so painful over the years. That the individual that was exposed to so much pain through in the utmost personal way, and was deeply influenced by, you know, individuals in the Black community and leadership like Martin Luther King, you know, and major poets. Yeah, that he was constantly learning and reciting, and deeply got to understand and was inspired by. But the underscoring to the text, to the poetry or the storyline, is so sensitive. And as a matter of fact, if you will ask Jasnam, he will tell you that he was carefully reading or listening to the reels many times before he started writing the music. And he let in and he let it sink, you know, in a way that really inspired what came out of him as a composer. So wonderful material came out of that in a very kind of a fusion way, which is basically present itself in a stylistically as maybe sometimes jazz, bebop, some rap music, and classical music too. We hear sometimes even Ravel, very French classical music, you know, textures. It really spans stylistically into a very wide array of styles and colors, musical colors, which in a way, this is kind of a breakthrough, I would say. This is a pretty gutsy idea. And I'm very proud of that, because this is exactly what the PCO is about. Yeah, that's the Portland Chamber Orchestra is all about. This open-mindedness, this striving to always break through new grounds and new ideas, and be very inclusive, very diverse. Personally, I'm very, very, very pleased, and I know that, you know, it's the world premiere of this piece, and there probably will come ideas that I will see if I can adapt in future repeat performances of this masterpiece. But that's good. We all evolve. Yeah, we all develop. We all become, you know, learn from past experience.
How have you evolved? Because I know that this has been in the works for years, right? And do you think, you know, like looking back on it now over the last few years, has working on this piece, this masterpiece, this music drama, and having these conversations with Darius and Jasnam, has it changed you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I will be the first one to admit that I'm evolving all the time. I think that being involved with the arts really sensitizes you. It makes you much more alert and much more sensitive to the surroundings, and to people, and to ideas, and to issues. Sometimes I have to hold myself back, because I become so emotional about things, you know, and it's all good. It's all good, because you cannot involve without, you know, without have this spectrum, with this big space of, you know, that you can really create, you know, and come into ideas and some relative answers, I would say, to issues that raise big questions all the time. Yeah, this beautiful space that we live in, that presents so many challenges, so many painful and sometimes very loving questions at the same time, yeah, really offers us the kind of ability to be creative and come with things that are quite profound.
Mm-hmm.
And this project, this My Words Are My Sword show is one of the things that I'm so proud of. It's really almost like a reflection of where I personally reached and who I became. And I'm very, very proud of it. I'm very, I consider myself lucky in a way,
Mm-hmm.
because that's probably the best answer to, yes, we evolve, we become better people. Yeah, we grow.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that those 2 nights that we're presenting this very powerful show will help us to make a change in people's heart and mind, and generally in the community.